Hi there, I hope this is bright enough and that the traffic noise doesn't drown me out. But here we are, it's evening time in Lisbon. Praça da Figueira. Our hotel is just around the corner. A bit tiring always with the time change and all. And of course, having been in South America and having learned having listened to so much Brazilian Portuguese, it takes a little while to get accustomed again to the Portuguese that's spoken in Portugal. Of course, the amazing thing is to think that this country, and headquartered, if you want, in Lisbon here, expanded all over the globe. And sort of whenever I go anywhere, I go straight to bookstores. I went to the Fnac and I bought this book here, and Os Inventores do Mundo. And it's a book in Portuguese about how the Portuguese, essentially the way he describes it in the book, connected Asia to South America, to Africa, to Europe in a way that hadn't been done before. This was the original globalization. Now, of course, there had been expansions before. There had been, I'm heading off to Morocco tomorrow, where they speak a mixture of Berber and Arabic, a form of Arabic, I guess, influenced by the original language. And why do they do that? Because the Arabs and Islam expanded out of Saudi Arabia and conquered everything from Spain to Iran and Afghanistan. So there had been all these movements, but they had all been in sort of separate entities. I mean, we had, Timurlane went into India, and the Mongols expanded, and the Turks took Constantinople, but everything was kind of adjacent. And it was really the Portuguese that went traveling over the ocean to connect different parts of the world. And that's why their language is spoken in South America, and was spoken in certain parts of Asia, and is spoken in different places in Africa. And but this book is very interesting because he begins, first of all, by quoting Seneca, the Greek, the Roman, I guess he was, philosopher, it may have been Greek actually, who said that there is no favorable wind for someone who doesn't have a goal. And I think that applies to language learning. Like, if we know what we want to achieve and we have some sense of how to get there, we're more likely to succeed. Many language learners don't really have a sense of where they want to get to and how to get there. But he also makes the point in the book, the author of this book, that it could very easily have been the Chinese that connected the different parts of the world, that created the first globalization, because essentially, 50 years before the Portuguese traveled to South America, Africa, Asia, the Chinese were traveling in the Indian Ocean and in Asia, and I think to Africa, and they had navigation technology and naval technology larger, far superior to what the Portuguese had, and larger boats. But all of a sudden they lost interest, and they decided that this was all these activities, exploring activities, were not going to be all that useful to China, and they stopped doing it. But so it gets back to my interests, which are language and history and why the world is the way it is. And it's conceivable that had the Chinese persisted, if they had felt that was in their interest, then various parts of the world might be speaking Chinese today. Instead, different parts of the world speak a variety of mostly European languages. And the world is increasingly globalized. I'm not one of those who thinks that the world will increasingly speak one language, English. I think it's easier for people to learn languages than ever before. And if anything, regional languages are being revived. So the world is increasingly globalized. But I think this can be done in a way that respects the individual cultures and traditions of the countries as they now exist. So with that, tomorrow we're off to Morocco for my next adventure, and it's going to be a bit like me learning Mandarin in Hong Kong, since the people in Morocco don't speak the form of Arabic, the standard Arabic that I'm learning. Much like when I was in Hong Kong, people spoke only Cantonese. And the lingua franca for foreigners there is French, just as English was the lingua franca for foreigners dealing with the locals in Hong Kong. So it'll be very interesting for me. Anyway, there you have it. Bye for now.